Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account improvement in Summoner's War. We are in tpsy's account. I'm just going to pronounce it that way. And we did a couple stuff in this account. This is the first account where I improved, or at least I tried to make all of these somewhat speed clear teams for the new R5s. We also made him 2 siege defenses, so let's get into that first. His rank is really nice. He has a G2 record in regular arena, a P1 record in RTA, which I do think is pretty low for his rune quality. I think he could definitely get Guardian if he plays it right. And he's currently in the G1 siege. So he's actually doing very well with his defenses. So I just made sure to get rid of some that were not performing well. And then I added a few that maybe could do better because he was trying to build it or his guild was somewhat running it. If you look at his defenses, he currently has 10. I wonder why this is unruned. Ooh, why is this unruned? This one's ruined. Oh, what the? No. Oh shoot, when I loaded the runes, I guess it reverted all the changes. Oh no. So I fixed this. And then I fixed this. These are the 2 defenses that I touched. But these aren't the builds that I made. Oh my goodness, what the heck. At least you know how it looked like before. So I guess I'll have to be back with the fixes for these unless I currently have the changes, which I might. I do. I could just rerun these right now and I can show you guys the changes. So I'll be right back. But before that, if you look at the defense log, he has a 46-15 with this first defense, a 19-13 with the second one. 5-8 is still decent, 25-35 is also decent. They're running the old Martina Shina Triana, which is doing somewhat well. And then the rest are like whatever. So I wanted to make sure that these 2 got some premium builds, premium runes, so that they could also perform. He also is trying to build this. I was thinking of maybe adding a Kopsu here and making that defense, but I think it's easy enough. Same with these, they're all easy enough. There's a lot of examples out there, but I do think the Kopsu with the Ashar Tyrannus is a little outdated compared to the Platy and Conrad defense, where the Platy one is a little more meta and Conrad one is a little outdated compared to the Platy, but we still see it a lot. Okay, so I've changed the teams. So the Conrad Robo now looks like this, where Robo is on Swift Energy, a lot tankier, some accuracy, more skill to accuracy, and taking less damage from wind. Then we have the Conrad that's going in front of Kinky on Violent Will. More skill to accuracy, taking less damage from wind and water. And finally the Kinky on Violent Destroy, 100 res. He didn't have it on 100 res, but we did. Make that change. More skill 1 accuracy for defense break, because the skill 1 defense break into a proc is pretty detrimental against the counters that I usually bring in. So just from personal experience. And then we have this one here, the Platy Irene Shahat, where Irene goes first on Swift Will. It's the same essential thought process because he also had a Swift Irene, but it's a little faster, much tankier. More skill to accuracy on this side for the max accuracy, and also taking less damage from wind here. And then we have Platy on, well actually Platy's not going second, it's going last. So we have the Bayek, the Shahat on Violent Destroy. I like Destroy, especially with these units, because they do so much damage with the passive. The Destroy, it's really used well. And then finally the Platy on Violent Will for more accuracy on this side and taking less damage from water on this side. So I'm hoping that these 2 siege defenses will do better. And then we made changes to his R5 team. So let's go through them one by one. This is the first one, and I think we used this same team for the fire one as well. The thought process is simple. For the first team, the Hua-He moves first on double fight will, and then the Xiaolin moves to put in the initial burst. So that is what happens before the second jump. For the second team, That same thought process is with Colleen and also Brandia, and at that point the boss should jump. We do have a Igmanodon going just in case before the Belager moves, because we do not want the Belager moving in the first run. And then finally the last team, the same thing. The Lauren goes first, and then we have the Bernadette putting in damage, and I believe we don't want anything else to move after that. So why do we have units like this? Gargoyle, the Igmanodon, and also the Dragon. All of these units put in a debuff when they get hit or when they die. So we want as much debuffs on the boss so that we could take advantage of Xiaolin skill 3, of Brandian skill 3, so on and so forth. So with that massive damage, we go through the first jump, and then the second jump happens. The first team, Jotan will defense break, and then the Ashtar will hit with skill 2 or skill 1, and Jean will hit with skill 2 or skill 1, hoping enough damage. For the second team, after the jump, if the Igmanodon did not move, it will move, and then the Belager will move, depending on how. I'm not too sure with the speed, but I do think maybe Theomars does cut with this passive, so that adds a little more time, which is not that preferable, but it is what it is. I think it's like a half a second. And then the last team, if the Bernadette was the last thing that moved in the second round, Ikaru should do a team up to bring in some units here, preferably one of these Nine-Tailed Foxes, so that we can land a branding, and then last damage from the Shihua or the Kamiya, again with the branding and just more damage. So let's see this running, and again this team is the same for the fire one, I believe. I do not want to run this 30 times, so let's just run it once. Let's see if it runs well. There are failed runs if you don't do enough damage, but I think this one is always pretty consistent. There you go. And I think the run is like 25 seconds. The fastest was 24, something like that. See, there you go. Jota moved it for the defense break, and then finally Belager moves. Perfect. Exactly how I explained it. If you guys have noticed that after the first jump or the first hit, the boss had multiple debuffs. That's what we're going for. 25 seconds, the fastest was 23. The fire one is exactly the same. Nothing is different, the same thought process. So let's check that out. Let's check it on the other side this time, because we saw the Belager, yeah, here. So here you can see it gets the attack break and just multiple debuffs all around. There you go, perfect. Big damage before Belager moves. And then Jotan shall land defense break, perfect. Another branding somewhere, perfect. And then Belager ends it. Perfect. I should be building this team in my account. 26 seconds. And then we worked on the wind one before the water one, because the water one has the most changes. It's the same team, but the only thing that's different is that we changed the Xiaolin with the Rauk for another team up. So again, we're expecting the same amount of units to be moving before the Belager moves or before the second jump. So let's see the damage being outputted here. We want a branding somewhere. No branding. There you go. Before Belager moves and before Ashtar or Jean moves, we get the first jump. And you can see that while we're getting hit, it's getting all these debuffs, right? Due to the passives. There you go. And then Belager ends it. Awesome. "25 seconds. The last one was the hardest because there was the most changes. So the teams are different because you can't use the Bell team as this is a water element. So the first team, again, we are gonna expect the same thing. Hua-He will move first, and then we're gonna see the Arya moving, hoping the branding lands, and then we're gonna see Ardella move. After that, we want to see the first jump. We don't want to see the Xiaoling moving. We want to see the Xiaoling moving for the second jump. And then for this middle team, we have Colleen moving, and then we have the Crow moving, and then we want to end it with Akmir moving before the first jump. And then for the last team, we would want Lauren moving, and then, well, this is not that preferable because we do have the Rauk moving in front, but it's fine. Rauk and then Lauren and then Ikaru. By this time, I think that's all we want to see. With the team ups, we want to see like this last team will put in the least damage, but we just want to see the debuffs in, and we want it to provide the minimal amount of damage that we need, that we might be lacking. After that, after the first jump, again, there's gonna be multiple debuffs, right? We still have the Gargoyle here, we have the Igmonodon here. I think we are missing one unit that lands a debuff, so there's that. But after that, we do want to see the Jotan moving from the last team, so that we wouldn't get the defense break in before the Xiaolin move. So Xiaolin's gonna put in big damage. At this point, we should have like 3-4 debuffs again, and then we do want to see the Naomi moving to end things off. That's really how we want to see things go. So let's see. It's really crucial to land the branding here. I think this is the most inconsistent team right now. I had to build like the Ardella and stuff. Ardella. They're not even level 40, so he could get the lacking damage somewhere. There you go. The first jump happens. Let's see if we could get it done quickly. Oh, it didn't use skill 3 because it didn't have 3 debuffs. See, that's the problem. Will it move? Okay, it's gonna move. I mean, we should win, but it's not the 25 seconds I usually see. Damn it. So if you want Xiaolin to use skill 3, it needs to have 3 debuffs by the time it moves. But I guess we only had 2. Let's try that again. We don't want to see those 34-second runs. But the average was 28 when I ran it 30 times, so it's not horrible. Okay, perfect. Yeah, see, it ended with Ardella there. The branding came in from the other side, I think. I don't think Argon landed it. So we have 2 debuffs. We need 1 more. There you go. Well, the thing, we only have 2 at the point by the time we move. So maybe it's safer to make, I guess, Deborah go in front. It'll be a little safer. This should be 28, yeah. 28 seconds. If you make Deborah go in front, then before the Xiaolin moves, there should be at least a defense break-in, so that's 3 debuffs. So Xiaolin should always use skill 3. But to do that, we have to make this guy much faster, and I think this breaks the other team. So I'm wondering if we could just bring out the other Deborah because he has another one. Or we could bring in another unit. No. Let's make it Deborah. And we want to make it 81 speed, huh? Freak. So it has to get a lot faster. Let's see if it works with just a speed slot 2. No. Not even close. Okay, we could get some more speed here. But it has to be 180. 181. Oh, that's perfect. 181. Yes. So let's see how this works. Because now Deborah should go in front. Oh, wait. No, we have triple fight. It should be double fight will. Because we could get pushed back. Well, let's see how this goes. Ooh, we did enough damage where even Ardella didn't get to move. So now Xiaolin should always use skill 3 anyways. Oh, we missed a debuff. We missed a debuff somewhere. Okay, but before we continue this, let's change that Deborah to a will set. Maybe the Gargoyle died. Easiest way to do this is to get a will set here on speed. And then... oh, no speed here. Perfect. So we could take it here. No speed. Perfect. Okay, this should do it. Because we want attack break, which comes in from this unit. But I'm wondering if it failed to land it. Maybe it was just a resist. because he should be alive before the jump. Perfect. Let's see if Deborah moves in front of the Xiaolin. Ooh, we didn't even have to have Deborah move because we did enough damage. But this is safer and it should be more consistent. It will be faster if Deborah does move there. Sorry, if Xiaolin does move there instead of the Deborah. 25 seconds. Yeah, if you could just get consistent 25-second runs, I think it will be good. If the Xiaolin moved there, I think it'll be like a 24-second run. And there should also be cases where Ardella needs to move to do enough damage, because we're getting pretty lucky with the damage here. Yeah, see, like this. So we can't always assume that Ardella will not move before the first jump. That's why I want the Deborah here to move, so that we have enough time to land the multiple debuff. There's only 2 right now. So there you go, there's more. And then Xiaolin should always use skill 3 to end it. Yep. Xiaolin is lacking some stats, some damage stats. Because right now we're sharing so many rage runes outside of his other PvP builds. Because obviously there are giants, dragons, necro, the artifact dungeons that we did not touch. So that those builds are retained. And then we try to build other damage sets outside of that. If we were able to bring out those builds as well, I think we would have seen clearer runs, but he did want me to not touch those because he wants to be able to speed clear all of his dungeons, I suppose. So it is what it is. There you go. Ooh, we're lacking a lot of damage here. What happened here? Because see, if you see it right here, we're lacking branding. If he had branding, it would have been a lot cleaner. This dungeon was the hardest. Definitely the hardest. Anyhow, that was it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want account improvements like this, please join my Discord, fill out the Google form, or just check out the description below. There should be a link to that Google form. If you guys want account reviews, join my Patreon. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. You guys will see the end result of 30 runs on the end of the video. I'm pretty sure it's going to be around 28 seconds. But that was it, and I'll see you guys next time.